Raining cats and dogs. Hello everyone. I'm back. Sorry about the delayed. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix this.
Thank you for coming. You really are willing to investigate the case.
Well, that's our duty at the Nocturnal Detective Agency. Your house is pretty big. Your father must have been well off.
Yes. My father owned a medical devices company. He contributed to Conai Ward's medical advancements for years. I simply can't believe he met his end like this.
We'll find justice for him.
Thank you. I am in your debt. This is my fiancé, Jaren. We've been living together for about a year now.
Nice to meet you. I'd like to ask you more about the details later, but can we take a look at the scene for now? Oh, before that, do you have a photo of your father?
Of course. Here's a picture from when he was still alive.
Thank you. Alara, over here. I'll leave the investigation to you. It's a bit too cramped for all of us to be wandering about. I'll keep speaking to them outside. Talk to me when you're done.
Understood. Now, time to review the cards I've been dealt.
Investigation. There you go. All right, so yeah, I had to interrupt my stream because I had practice. Now it's over with. For those who are watching live, it's gonna be like way later since I have time to eat dinner at the same time. So we're inside that giant room. It's a big aquarium room. There are rows and rows of fishes. Let's see the broken fish tank over here. Lots of broken glass.
All of the fish tanks have been shattered.
Like they broke it from the outside. Was it sound?
On the inside, which means it's certain someone smashed it inward.
Oh, the shards are inwards as well. Okay, so all the tanks were smashed inwards. Fish keeping equipment.
I see.
The equipment and food for the tropical fish are placed together. Seems like nothing has been used since the incident. There's some dust. Equipment used for keeping tropical fish is placed together. Floor is dry.
Right.
There are some stains on the floor. It's likely due to the water spilled from the fish tanks. Other than that, nothing else seems suspicious. Stain caused by the water spilling from the tanks are on the floor. Windows are fine.
It's a regular sliding window with a crescent lock. There are no suspicious marks on it.
Crescent lock. So it goes inwards. You have to move it inward to unlock
There's a
it.
small veranda outside. We're on the second floor, so any rain that falls off the eaves flows to the drain.
Okay. So there's a drain outside the veranda. Sliding window. A normal window with a crescent lock. There are no suspicious mark. Veranda. The second floor veranda. Rain's flow of the eaves into the drain. Vent.
An ordinary vent. There's some blue paint on the inner side of the frame.
Blue paint.
Looks like something rubbed against it. This may have something to do with the case.
Rub marks on what looks like blue paint are on the inside of the frame. Wall stains.
What is this? There's a stain here that looks like a horizontal line.
Were there that much water? That looks like water damage. Like, was the room completely flooded?
Upon close inspection, there appears to be a faint outline of the same stain along all four walls.
All four walls have stain resembling horizontal lines. Even on the door. There's a stain on that floor, and that side of the floor in particular, but other than that, the rest of the floor seems fine, but it feels like water damage. Like the whole... Okay, so this is the legs where the... Yeah, there's an outline of the legs. The rest of the body was in that tank right here. Door. There's some mark on the door. All over the place.
There's a sticky substance stuck to the door frame. Perhaps tape residue?
There's so much tape on the residue on that door. What for? I don't get it. There are traces of a sticky substance like tape residue on the door frame. Investigate the things of note, but... Yeah, that's everything.
That's about all I can investigate for now. I should go talk to our clients before I observe the crime scene at the time the body was discovered.
The crime scene has been inspected, Chief.
Thanks.
There are a few things I'd like to confirm.
Yes, please ask me anything.
Can you give me the details of when you discovered the body?
It was, I think, around 6 in the morning.
6 in the morning.
My father usually woke up early for breakfast, but when I went to get him, he wasn't in his room. So I looked around and noticed Sugar barking at this room.
Sugar? A dog.
Sugar?
That's the name of our dog.
That's the dog. Okay, so looks like... I want to say a Labrador, but not really.
Hey!
Oh. He went for Alara, and Alara kneeled down to pet him. Wagged the tail.
Sugar sure is happy. She's rarely friendly with anyone.
So yeah, it's a white dog. That's why she's called Sugar.
She barks at me all the time.
There.
Shall we continue?
Oh, sorry. Sugar was barking in front of the room, so I opened the door to take a look.
Oh, so the first witness was Sugar?
There
No.
I saw my father.
Oh,
His head was in the fish tank. He was already gone.
okay.
I heard her scream and ran over. But what I saw took my breath away. The fish tanks were all destroyed. The floor was covered with water. All the tropical fish Father loved were scattered across the floor, dead.
So the guy's name is Jaren.
Were they valuable?
I'm not sure. I don't know how much they were worth, but the fact is, my father cared for them a great deal.
If the fish were expensive, do you think someone tried to steal them?
Are you implying my father's murder was an afterthought?
Well, I'm just considering possibilities. If they were going to steal the fish, I doubt they'd smash the tanks.
Yeah.
You're right.
Do you know the estimated time of death for the victim?
I believe it was around 10 o'clock the night before.
10 o'clock the night before, so nobody from 10 to 6 went to check on him.
When was the last time you saw him alive?
Right around 7 that night. I ate dinner with him. He went to his room after that.
According to the Peacekeeper investigation, the victim died around 10 p.m.
Does anyone else live here?
It's just me and him now. The servant left after making dinner before 7.
Tell me, what were you doing around 10 that night?
After finishing dinner with my father, I did some cleaning and washed the dishes.
Yeah.
Jaren came to the dining hall around 8 for dinner.
Okay.
And then we watched TV in the living room until around midnight.
Okay, and then you went to bed?
Yes. I know for certain we were together between 8 and midnight.
Okay.
Did you ever get up during that time? Such as to go to the bathroom?
I don't think so.
Were there any screams or sounds of a struggle around 10 at night? No, not at all.
No sound.
I see. That leaves me wondering who entered that room, when they did, and why they smashed all the fish tanks.
And Sugar didn't notice anything either.
The fish tanks are large and have thick glass. You'd think you'd hear them being smashed.
Yeah.
True. All I know for certain is that we didn't hear anything like that.
From at least 8 p.m. to around midnight, Jaren was with Tetra. So they have an alibi.
Do you often come in and out of this room?
Not at all. Only my father used this room.
What did the Peacekeepers have to say when they saw the state of things in the room?
They said my father was stressed out. That he lost control and smashed all the tanks himself.
Was he actually stressed out?
Truth be told, my father was lamenting over a prized tropical fish he had accidentally killed that morning. I thought he could have done something extreme, given how much he regretted his mistake.
Okay.
He did look rather depressed.
Still, my mild-mannered father would never do something like this.
Yeah, this is odd.
Did you notice anything strange about your father during dinner?
He was sad about the fish, but he ate normally. I didn't notice anything in particular.
It's hard to think he was so distraught that he'd smash all the tanks on his own.
You're right. But that's what the Peacekeepers told us happened.
I'll take another look around. For now, I'd like to ask you to leave the room.
Okay, so she's gonna use her forte.
So you're gonna do that thing, yeah? I'm counting on you. Let's wait outside.
The trump card is still face down. Time to use my post-cognition to see how things were at the time the body was first discovered.
See if anybody lied. Okay. The carpet moved. There was some fishing equipment. Everything was in disarray. The door was open. The corpse was there. Even in post-cognition, traces of a sticky substance are on the frame. Was some kind of tape stuck on? Updated. Even when seen through post-cognition, the sticky substance was on the door frame. Yeah. The lamp was moved. Broken fish tank.
See.
All tanks seems to have been smashed inwards. There's not much difference from the room in this present state. All the tanks were smashed inward. Even sleep was there. Okay. The fish keeping equipment has been moved.
I see.
At the time the body was found, many things were scattered around. Could this sort of mess be caused by just a broken fish tank? Equipment used for keeping, okay, was scattered. Floor. See, yeah, the floor was all wet.
There are dead tropical fish everywhere.
Oh,
The
Nemo!
floor is completely drenched.
And there's also Dory, and three yellow fish that are tropical. I don't know the name. Yeah, the floor is drenched. Past cognition showed the floor was flooded and scattered with tropical fish. The door was locked?
It's not locked. Anyone could come and go through here. Perhaps this is how the culprit entered the place.
A normal window with a crescent lock. Post-cognition show it was unlocked.
There's a dead tropical fish in the drain on the veranda.
Yeah.
Why would that be there?
The second floor veranda. Post-cognition show a dead tropical fish was present. Yeah, I have the feeling that the room was flooded. And the guy was already drowning. And they opened the window to flush down the water. It went down the drain. And one of the fish happens to be next to the drain. How about the vent?
The paint stuck on the frame can be seen here.
Even when seen through post-cognition, rub marks and what looked like blue paint were on the inside of the frame. Wall stains. They were portraits. Were they always there? It seems the stains on the wall were present when the body was found. I don't see any particular differences. No, the stains are darker than they are currently. Does that mean they were made around this time? Yeah, fall forwards has stain resembling horizontal lines, dark horizontal lines. Here's the body.
The victim's body is kneeling against the edge of a fish tank.
He's kneeling against the edge. Like, he was drifting and then he was left there when the water flushed.
Like the other tanks, this one is snatched up too. Looking closely, he is soaking wet.
Yeah, he was wet as well.
It'd make sense if it was just his upper body. But for his whole body to be soaked is unusual.
The body was kneeling against the edge of the tank with the head inside of it.
I'm beginning to see the truth behind this case. That's all the investigating I need to do for now.
Are you done?
Sugar is here. Oh! Sugar found a tube.
The dog has something in her mouth.
Evidence.
Hey, Sugar!
What's this?
Yeah, it's a rubber blue tube.
That's Sugar's favorite toy. It's just a rubber hose tied up in a knot.
Yeah.
Ever since she was a puppy, Sugar has loved playing tug-of-war with a rubber hose.
So where's the rest of the rubber hose now?
So I still make toys out of hoses like this. But I don't think I made one for her recently. Where did she get it from?
Wow, that's interesting. Let me take a look.
Yeah, that tube was used on the fan.
Wait, don't touch it.
It's evidence.
What's wrong?
Put that in a plastic bag without touching it directly. I believe it's evidence.
That's evidence?
Consider it a precaution.
Sugar's favorite toy, a short rubber hose tied into a knot.
How's the investigation going? Are the peacekeepers right? Did my father pass away due to an accident?
No,
Or was it...
it's murder.
The answer is clear. This was no accident, but a murder.
Huh? Really?
What makes you think it's a murder?
My thinking.
The walls, the fish tanks, the window, the floors. I want to say the walls. They were wet.
No, it's not enough to disprove the theory that it was an accident. Reviewing it more carefully.
The walls, the fish tank, the windows, the floors. The floors were wet. Fish tank were shattered. The window, wet, open, shattered, or dried. Window was open.
No, it's not enough.
So I need to make a word with the walls, fish tanks, windows, or floor. And then we have wet, open, shatter, or dry. Fish tanks were shattered. That's not proof of murder. floors are wet. That's not proof of murder. I'm gonna try everything, basically. Walls. Open.
No, it's...
Walls shattered.
No, it's not.
Walls dry.
No, it's not enough.
Fish tank. Wet.
No, it's...
Fish tank. Open.
No, it's not.
Fish tank. Shattered.
The victim died with his head in the fish tank. Is that right?
Yes, that is certain.
As you can see, this fish tank was destroyed like all the others.
Yeah.
That is far too strange. It means something logically impossible occurred.
Impossible? What do you mean?
I shouldn't have to explain it. If the victim drowned with his head in the tank, then it had to be filled with water.
Yeah.
But as you can see, the fish tank is destroyed, meaning it is unable to contain water.
Well, okay, that's what they're going for. When the body was found, the fish tank was already destroyed.
Like with the other tanks, the water spilled out when it was smashed, emptying it. So how could the victim drown in a fish tank that held no water?
Oh, now that you mention it.
The Peacekeepers claim the victim was disoriented and smashed the fish tanks himself.
Well, even if he break the fish tanks, he wouldn't put his head in the water to
But
drown.
if the victim was still alive when he smashed the fish tanks, it would have been impossible for him to have drowned.
Yes.
In other words, the victim was drowned, then placed next to the fish tank to make it seem like an accident.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
The culprit must have believed this camouflage would be enough to fool the Peacekeepers.
So my father was murdered.
Yes, there is no mistake about it. This is murder.
Hold on. If the culprit wanted to make the victim look like he drowned, why did they destroy the fish tank? Didn't they realize their cover would be blown? And plus, all the fish tanks were destroyed, not just that one.
It must have been part of their plan for the Peacekeepers to overlook this contradiction. However, destroying the tanks required a lot of effort. If the culprit did so despite the contradiction it created...
I don't think the culprit destroyed the tank.
then we have to assume there was an unavoidable reason behind it.
An unavoidable reason.
So, who is the culprit?
I must investigate further to find that out. I'll report back once I find the answer.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Has anyone outside your family entered or left the house recently?
I don't think so.
Were there any tradesmen who came to work on your place?
I can't think of any.
Allow me to change the question. Have you recently done any remodeling or repairs to the home?
Oh, now that you mention it. The rain gutters on the roof were broken, so Jaren fixed them.
He fixed the rain gutters?
Yes, he's an avid DIYer.
Oh boy.
He not only fixed the broken parts, but also checked the gutters around the whole building, which was a lot of work.
So the rain gutters on the roof were broken, so Jaren fixed them.
I see. That concludes my investigation.
What? Are you sure that's enough? Jeez, you're always off in your own world. I'm sorry about that. Our ace detective isn't very friendly. That being said, I believe this case will be solved soon. Please be patient for just a bit longer.
Thank you.
So yeah, we finished the investigation. So where are we going?
Alara, just as you suspected, it could be the fiancé. Jaren has been living in the client's home and mooching off her since he got fired from his job a year back.
Oh.
He's in quite a lot of debt, too. At one point, he was spending almost all his time in casinos. He
Wow.
kept asking the client's father for money, but was always denied. Seems the father was also against their marriage.
So money is the motive. If the father were to die, the daughter would inherit everything. So if he married her, the money would be his.
Makes sense. The thing is, that man has an alibi. The victim's estimated time of death is 10 at night. There's no mistake that Jaren was with the client at that time. Makes no sense to suspect Tetra, since she's our client. So we have to assume his alibi is airtight.
Right. I agree.
His alibi is perfect. Not only was he with Tetra at 10, but he was also with her for 2 hours before and after. So, as it stands, it's impossible for him to have killed the victim.
No, the alibi isn't a problem. It's possible if a certain trick was used.
A trick?
But I still lack hard evidence. Perhaps it's worth rolling the dice here.
Hey, are you sure about this?
We'll make our move tonight. Let's go to the client.
Okay, so back outside the house. Everybody's here. Back at the room.
Is it true that you know the truth behind this case?
That's right, miss. Allow me to explain. The key detail for this case is the victim's cause of death. Without a doubt, the victim died by drowning. But making it look like he drowned in the fish tank was camouflage. Why would such a thing even be needed? Because it secured the killer's alibi.
You said that the victim's time of death was around 10 p.m. In other words, the culprit secured their alibi at the same time as they murdered the victim. Is that really possible?
Through a certain trick, it was possible to drown the victim even if the culprit wasn't there.
Drown him without being there?
The trick the culprit used was...
The vent, the fish tank, the hose, the body. It was the hose. Flooded the room, sealed the room, dried the room, shook the room. The hose flooded the room.
First, it involves this rubber hose.
That's Sugar's toy.
If you untie the knot, it returns to being a hose. This was what was first used in the crime.
How was it used? Don't tell me that's the murder weapon.
Nah, murder weapon is the water.
If you check the vent, you'll see the color of paint scraped on there matches the hose.
Yep.
It was likely passed through the vent.
Someone put the hose in the vent. Why would anyone do that?
It's nothing special. The hose was simply used for its original purpose.
Its original purpose?
Carrying water.
One end of the hose was placed on the edge of the rain gutter on the veranda side.
Yeah.
Prior to this,
There's
the
a
culprit
hole.
adjusted the rain gutter so that the hose could be inserted into it.
Yeah. So there's a hole, there's a tube. So when it rains, the water falls into the gutter, now into the tube and into that room.
The rainwater from the gutter passed through the hose, filling the room.
Huh? What do you mean? Hilari, you think this place got flooded with rainwater?
If you look at the walls, I've seen I've seen water damage from a hurricane last year, and it looks exactly like that. But the fact that it's 3 feet over 3 feet of water is like outstanding. When I was looking at the water damage on one of the houses that was affected by the hurricane, it was between 1 and 2 feet of water.
That would drench the whole place.
Yeah?
When the body was found, the room was, in fact, drenched.
But that was because of the broken fish tanks, right?
No.
That's part of it. But the main reason was due to rainwater pouring into the enclosed room.
Wait, what do you mean? What's the point in flooding this room with rainwater?
The culprit's goal was to secure their own alibi at the estimated time of death. This trick was necessary for that.
I don't get it. Can you explain from the beginning?
Let's go over what the culprit did on the day of the crime, in order. First, the culprit mixed sleeping pills into the victim's dinner.
Yeah.
While the victim was asleep, the culprit proceeded to prepare the trick.
Sleeping pills in his food? That reminds me. My father did seem sleepy shortly after eating dinner.
So he would pass out after looking at the fish?
After dinner, the victim likely went to his room to lay down. The culprit then sneaked into his room and carried him out while he was asleep. That was how the victim was transported to this room.
So that would be at 8.
At this point, you're sure he was still alive?
Of course. If the culprit murdered the victim earlier, then their alibi wouldn't have worked. The culprit had to murder him in such a way that would secure their alibi. The preparations were done in this room. After bringing the victim here, the culprit used duct tape on the gap near the door to weather strip it.
Yeah. So yeah, the tape marks are around the edges. So yeah, he put duct tape to seal the to seal the room so water won't leak out.
Weather strip? What's that?
It prevents water from leaking outside.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, if he were just to leak the room, the water would come out from the crack of the door. So the door had to be sealed with duct tape. But there's some duct tape marks on the inside of the door, so that was a weird mark, and it's not on all over the edges, it's on top of as well.
Let me explain.
So that was where there's even tape on the inside of the door instead of all around the edges. Feels weird. It was amateur work.
After weather stripping the door, the culprit started destroying the fish tanks.
Yeah?
The culprit likely covered them with cloth to dampen the noise.
Mm-hmm.
Once he smashed all of them, he leaned the victim onto the fish tank. The culprit then moved to the window on the veranda and weather stripped the outside of it. Finally, they took the hose connected to the rain gutter and passed it through the vent to the inside of the room. Preparations in place, the culprit left through the veranda and returned to the mansion as if nothing had happened.
How does that complete everything? The victim was still alive at the time, right? When was he murdered?
The victim naturally drowned after being left alone for several hours.
Huh? How's that?
Were you paying
The
attention?
rainwater from the rubber hose flooded the room in a few hours. The whole room was turned into a fish tank, this time filled with rainwater. And that is how the victim drowned.
The whole room was flooded?
That can't be.
The proof lies in the stained walls. The day of the murder, the room must have been filled to that line with rainwater.
Rainwater killed the victim?
Yeah.
Correct. Only in this city could such an approach be possible.
Yup.
The rain never stops in Kanai Ward. This makes it easy to estimate the amount of rainfall to a certain degree. So it is not impossible to create this alibi trick with some calculation.
I think that's a bit of a stretch. Wouldn't it take at least half a day for the room to fill with enough rainwater to drown the victim?
I'm sure it would require more rainwater than usual to accomplish it. Which means you'd need to gather all the rain falling around this giant mansion.
Gather all of it? How?
It would require slight adjustments to the rain gutters. After that, the rainwater would flow to the veranda.
Adjustments to the rain gutters?
There would be plenty of water if all of the rain that pours upon the mansion is rerouted to this room.
Oh. Yeah, when they reroute, if they reroute the rain gutters, yeah.
That explains how the culprit secured their alibi while drowning the victim. In the morning, before the body was found, they removed the weather stripping and drained the water through the veranda. If you check the drain in the veranda, You should find dead tropical fish that were carried out with the rainwater. The culprit smashed the tanks beforehand to prevent rainwater from being stored inside.
Oh, okay. I get it. So yeah, the fish tanks needed to be destroyed because if they weren't, they would be filled bigger than usual.
Well, that's how I would have done it. But maybe the culprit didn't realize that before they started draining the water. Seeing the fish tanks filled with rainwater, the culprit panicked and smashed all of the glass to hide the evidence.
Oh, okay. So, so he's saying that the culprit break the fish tanks after the room was flooded and drained.
They must have carelessly broken the one fish tank the corpse was leaning on in the process.
Yeah.
Isn't that how it went, Jaren? I'll be direct. You are the culprit.
Pointing finger.
Hold on. Is this some kind of joke? Why would I kill my father-in-law? That's stupid.
You're broke.
But you were fixing the rain gutters a few days before the incident.
That's because you asked me to fix them. How does fixing some stuff pin me as the culprit? That's crazy talk.
So you intend on maintaining that you're not the culprit?
Of course!
Then we'll have to ask our little friend for the answer. Come here, Sugar.
Sugar's gonna smell the hose.
This is the rubber hose used for the trick. There are scrapes on its surface. That's the proof. I'm sure the culprit tried to dispose of it, tying it into a knot before throwing it away. But our friend here found it for us. Good girl, Sugar. Only the culprit has directly touched the rubber hose. I'm certain his scent is still on it. Tell us, Sugar, who do you smell on this?
Sugar's barking at Jaren.
So, it is you.
Even the dogs.
This is complete nonsense. I won't accept it. If I have to, I'll kill all of you.
Wow.
Hey, don't tell me that you're really... I was so close to getting all that money.
Produce a knife. Oh, he's menacing Yako.
Hey, why me? I can kill the woman anytime. I'll start off with you. Damn you, detectives. This is your fault for sticking your nose into my life.
Can you handle this on your own, Chief?
I'm pretty bad at this sort of thing. Please help.
Yo.
Shut up! I'll kill...
Yeah, she just, okay, so basically, Alara just flipped the coin so hard that the coin hit the guy on the face, and that created a distraction that she needed to jump kick on his face. Pass! Got knocked back.
You saved me.
I never thought it would be like this. What am I supposed to do?
Sugar is here.
You're not alone.
Huh?
That's what she's saying.
If you ever need help, come to us. The Nocturnal Detective Agency will always be at your service.
Thank you.
Now we see Laura playing with a ginger cat, playing with a little toy.
As promised, you can keep that cat here.
A feather on a stick. Charming stray.
I don't need your help. That's what the cat is saying.
Come on, this cat thinks it's some sort of hard-boiled detective? Well, I suppose I don't mind.
This city is a difficult place to live, even for the animals.
Right. I hope we can keep solving the mysteries here to make this city a better place. And make it a nicer place for them to live too.
I sincerely hope so.
You're so cold to humans, but you like animals.
Are you teasing me?
See, there you go again, making that scary face. Seeing you play with the cat, you look kinda cute. It sure would be nice to see more of that smile around here. I hope you keep using your powers to change this city. I know you can do it. For their sake, too.
That depends on the payment.
Come on. Well, how's this? Consider it the reward for this case. And maybe you could ask for permission next time.
Thanks.
And now the camera pans towards Amaterasu Court for some reason. Fade to black. Raining cats and dogs. Yeah, end. Raining cats and dogs. The end. Number the colors. Kaiji Tang. More on the cast. Jennifer Losey, Tetra, Sean Chiplock, Jaren. Yeah. So now we're gonna go with Vivia. Vivia visits a building to investigate an unsolved case. However, the elevator leading to the roof stops, leaving him stuck inside with a woman. Trapped within the motionless box, Vivia closes in on the truth as he faces life and death. What does this even mean? So we're seeing some stairs.
Death is always awaiting me upon my path. Like trees neatly lining the roadside, casting dark shadows at my feet. Even if I manage to overcome them,
An alleyway.
make progress down that path. When I turn around, the cruel truth is waiting there. The shadows are a procession to my own funeral. To live means to continuously die. Every human is nothing but a walking corpse. And so, I too am dying in this moment.
The near-death detective. We see a shadow behind Vivia, so it's probably him being in spectral projection. So there's a girl, seems to be pushing the button of an elevator.
It doesn't seem to be moving at all. And the management company isn't responding either.
She's wearing a long red dress. She has long black hair with black eyes. Almond shape. She seems to be confused.
I guess we just have to wait. If you wait long enough, everything will come to an end. Just as there is rain unceasing. A day will come when the sun doesn't rise. And when the oceans dry up too. One day, you will die. And so will I.
Is that supposed to be a joke? How can you talk about death in this situation?
I'm not enjoying this situation enough to make light jokes about it.
So yeah, her dress is actually a very long raincoat.
I think I'd find things a bit more enjoyable if I wasn't trapped in here with you.
I apologize if I've offended you. I wish to avoid all unnecessary fights.
Same goes for me. Sorry I raised my voice. I'm not used to situations like this.
Nor am I. We found something we agree on.
Aren't you afraid?
Afraid?
Of all this? We're stuck in an elevator, hanging in midair. What if something happens and we fall to our deaths?
I don't think I'm afraid.
What if the elevator is never fixed and we're trapped here forever?
Then it'll be like a coffin. I actually think it would be rather cozy. I could just sleep here until I die.
What's with you and your death wish?
It's not like I intended to have one. It's hard to describe. Thinking of death is like breathing to me.
Do you find it fun to live like that?
Isn't that what life is all about? There are things that I find fun. For example, I love reading stories. For some reason, I feel more alive when I can invest in a story's protagonist. I also love gazing at the beauty found in nature. Seeing plants sway in the breeze brings joy to my heart.
You sure are a strange one.
Am I? What about you? What makes you happy?
Well, I suppose I like to observe life.
Observe life?
I used to be a nurse. I've seen many lives saved and lost at the hospital.
Okay.
Life should be more precious than diamonds. But some people are treated more poorly than a pebble on the road. Isn't that strange? A life is a life, so why should its value be different depending on the person? So now, whenever I look at people, I watch their lives. I wonder how valuable each life may be.
You're also kind of strange.
Am I?
Speaking of which, I didn't catch your name. I'm Vivia. Who are you?
I'm Rio.
Rio. I think we may have met before. Do you remember?
So now we have a flashback. Vivia's at the fireplace at the agency. Yako is here reading the newspaper.
Hey, Vivia. Everyone else is out on a job. How long are you gonna stay there?
Until I die?
You gotta be kidding me. Do I have to pull the pieces of you out of there once you're a skeleton? If you have free time, why don't you help work on some unsolved cases?
Chief, do I look like I have a lot of free time to you?
Yes.
You look like you're so bored you could die. Look, just hear me out as a way to kill time. There have been a series of suspicious deaths lately. People jumping to their demise from a certain building. The first one was over 5 years ago, and people have been periodically jumping ever since. There's been over 10 confirmed cases.
What's suspicious about that? They came across a building to jump off of when they happened to feel like dying. That's probably all there is to it.
That could be true for 1 or 2 cases, but over 10 times in the same spot? That's unusual, no matter how you look at it.
Are you suggesting someone is pulling the strings behind the scenes?
We won't know until it's investigated. It'd be an absolute nightmare if someone is getting their kicks killing people and making it look like suicide. For the sake of the town's safety, it's not something we can ignore. That's where we come in.
There's no point in investigating it. All we will find is boring reality.
No matter how boring it is, it's still reality. There's value in finding it.
Detectives are such troublesome creatures.
Aren't you one too?
Huh?
Don't look at me all surprised. Why'd you come here if you're no detective? Aren't you here to solve mysterious crimes and help those who are lost?
He asked me why I came to this town. I don't understand it myself. I'm not actively searching for a place to die just yet. I'm not here to be a detective searching for the truth. It's nothing so pure or sincere.
Now we can see him walking in Kamazaki Street.
The reason I came to this city was due to my impatience with living. What did I seek by coming here? What do I expect from this place?
Now he sees the lady in red crossing the street. Notices her, and then there's a car running by.
That was a woman in a red raincoat.
She didn't got hit?
That reminds me. The chief did mention something. Around the building where the suicides occur, a suspicious woman in a red raincoat has often been spotted. I'm not interested in the truth, but I am interested in her. I should try to tag along behind her without being spotted.
Okay, so now we have control of him. Okay, we're gonna tail her. Yeah, Peacekeeper saying, "Long live Amaterasu!" She goes that way. She's going up. We're almost Naruto running. When he runs, he just let his arm go, flailing in the wind. Goes over there. Okay. Okay, she's over there. She's not moving. Do we need to get closer? Yeah, she turns back, we hide. She looks behind her and she turns the corner. There's the umbrella shop. Did I lose sight of her? The guys, there's the short woman, a short adult woman. She says might buy a raincoat. You gotta stay trendy. I lost sight of her. And then I look over the balcony, over the catwalk, and she's below, and we jump down. Keep following her. She's going that way. She's gonna take the stairs to go to Jinai District. Nope, she's going to the building next to the bridge that goes to Jinai District.
This is the perfect building for dying.
How would you know? What are the prerequisites? Okay, this building looks perfect for dying. Like, how?
We've met before? Are you sure about that?
No. He met you. You didn't met him.
I don't remember you at all. Are you sure it was me you met?
There's
her name is Rio.
You have that smell.
Smell?
You smell faintly of death.
What do you mean by that?
Bloody Rio.
That's rather rude.
Do you live in this building?
Yes. Why?
From what I've heard, there hasn't been anyone living in this building for a long time.
Who said that? Oh, was it the people around here? They probably have a grudge against this place. They say the building blocks the sun, or that it's sinking into the bedrock.
What about all the people who have fallen to their deaths from this place? Is that nothing but a groundless rumor, too?
Of course it is.
But it isn't. It's fact. Even the newspapers have articles.
He stands up and walks closer to her.
If you live here, then you must have heard about it. Many unsolved cases in the city have been completely left alone. Of course, this has nothing to do with me. I have no interest or desire to know the truth. However, I am somewhat interested in you.
Are you hitting on me?
I suppose you could take it that way.
Whoa!
I see. To be honest, I'm interested in you too. Although it's more that your life force makes me curious. It's... how do I put this? Faint. Thinner than paper. Almost as though I can see death waiting on the other side.
Well, he's the near-dead detective.
I could say the same about you. Sheesh. This is a hassle. I guess I'll get to the point. You killed them, didn't you?
Huh?
I did it?
You lured people from the city here and pushed them off the building, making it appear like suicide. Why did you kill them? There's no benefit in it for you. For fun? You wanted to see them die? Or did you develop a special interest in the value of people's lives? If so, that makes you a serial killer.
Me? A killer? Well then, I guess that means you're trapped inside an elevator with a killer.
Strangely, I found myself in situations like this often. Whether I want it or not, death finds its way to me.
You're not afraid?
Afraid? No, it's more like
Curious.
observing from a great distance as dark clouds slowly spread out over the ocean.
I don't quite get it, but it doesn't sound joyful to me. Though, you were like this from the very beginning.
Eh?
Truth be told, I can tell when someone has a death wish. I sense their desire to go to the other side. Yes, you remind me of
Is
them.
she a Dead Reaper?
The other side. Did all those you lured here feel the same way?
Lord? You're mistaken. I didn't do anything myself. I was just... here. People like you happen to show up here. Then they depart to the other side on their own.
You really want to insist that you weren't involved? That all those who died came here of their own accord?
That's right. Aren't you the same way?
Me? Perhaps.
Now they're on top of the building.
I want to die someday. And perhaps this is a fitting place for it.
The view here is nice, don't you think? That's certainly an added benefit.
That's the building in front of the Sun and Moon Hotel. That's the abandoned
Surely
building.
It wasn't easy, but things are just getting started. Vivia, let's save Kanai Ward. Together.
That's not why I came to this city.
Right. I'm counting on you then. Wait, what did you say? Did I mishear you?
I don't care what happens to Kanai Ward, and I have no intention to obey orders from the WDO either. I just want some peace and quiet. A calming place where time will gently pass by.
What are you talking about? You're not gonna find that here. The only place you can find perfect peace is heaven. And the only ones who can reach it are the dead. Wait, don't tell me you...
Hello, Tyler. How you doing? I'm doing well. I had to split my streaming in two because I had a choir practice. Yeah, I beat the main game, and right now I'm just chilling with the DLC mission. So this is one right now. There were some Gab dialogue. Basically, when you collected all the collectibles, they unlock some forgotten memories of conversation you have with everybody, and I managed to find them all. So I went through them all first, and then I'm going through the DLCs. So it brings like an additional 5 to 6 more hours to the gameplay.
Just leave me alone.
I can't do that. We need your help. Hey, Vivia!
So now we're back to the elevator with
I've
Rio.
always been able to see the dead, and what they tell me is always true. The truth has been exhausting for me, for as long as I can remember. Even when I cover my eyes and ears, their voices continue to whisper it to me. Please, be quiet. No matter how much I beg for it, the calm will never come. Where's the perfect peace? It's found in death.
Ah, there's the look. Everyone who steps into this elevator has the same look in their eyes. They want to escape reality as soon as possible. They don't care where they end up, as long as they can get away. This elevator will take you to your desired exit. The path to the other side.
And it's your job to see them off. You've seen so many on their way from here. It's like you are the guide to the afterlife.
Yeah, she's the ferryman.
So what if I am? Aren't you similar?
Nah. He's the guy who's squatting by the river Styx.
That may be true.
Oh, rumble.
Life is like this elevator. Once it moves, it will not stop. I can hear them.
Hey, Vivia! Where are you?
Yako is outside looking around the city.
Hey, Vivia! Where are you?
Wow.
That voice.
Do you recognize it?
No.
If you have any attachments in this world, I suggest you don't depart.
Attachments. If that's the case, why did you go to the other side?
Huh?
The first of those who died was a woman wearing a red raincoat.
Oh! She was always a ghost, but usually ghosts don't have legs. In Japanese lore, goats don't have legs, but this one has a full body. So yeah, this isn't happening. This is astral projection. But everybody, but Vivia is keeping his color to fool us. Yeah, because it would be so easy.
Her name was Rio. It was written in a newspaper article.
She was the first victim. She dead.
Why do you still ride this elevator, even after death? Isn't it because you're still attached to this world?
You're a ghost.
Who are you? You don't seem like an ordinary human.
So, what happened in the end of the game? Oh boy, where do we begin? We found out that there was a big experiment. Like, it was a race. Like, the unified government wanted to create a homunculus to create the perfect army. So, immortal soldiers that will never die. So, they contracted Amaterasu Corp to make their own homunculus. And each of the lab make their own. The UG managed to get one, but it was perfect. And then, meanwhile, when the Amaterasu Corps heard of that, they didn't want to be defeated, so they cut corners. So Dr. Wesker was in charge of the lab in Amaterasu Corp. So basically, he asked for all of the Kanai Ward citizens to take a blood test in the saying that, oh, there's a mysterious virus, a contagious disease around, and we need to test everybody. Some people find it sus. Not everybody took the blood test, but everybody who did got an homunculus version of themselves. But since it was a rush job, the homunculus that were created were a failure. They had two problems. Once they die, they lose all their intellect, and they go berserk. They turn like zombies. And the second weakness is sunlight. When they are sunlight, they lose all memories and they lose control of themselves and they go in a berserker rage. And 14 hours after the first homunculus were created, since Kanai War was still, part of the rest of the world, the homunculus went berserk and they killed everybody in Kanai War. They razed the town down. So all the residents were killed without any exceptions. And then they were like fighting each other. So the one homunculus success from the UG came to Kanai Ward and realized what was going on. He decided to save them by creating a cloud generator. Clouds thick enough to block the sunlight. So he managed to succeed. But when they did that, basically thick enough clouds to cover the sunlight will produce rain. So basically it's a factory that will create unending rain all around Kanai Ward. So now all the zombies came back to normal. So they have the memories of all the people that took the blood test. But when they turned berserk, and until the moment like they got their memories back from the being protected from the sunlight, a week has passed. That's the blank week mystery. And the homunculus who was in charge of building the rain generator also managed to be the CEO of Amaterasu. So it was Makoto. And Makoto, the only reason why he was a success is because the UG was taking specimens from all the greatest people, like stronger genes and stuff like that. And the only success was caused by the homunculus of the greatest mind in the world being number one. So he became self-aware that he was an homunculus, and he was aware of his condition and the weakness and the stuff like that. And that's why he created that. The defective homunculi had to feed on human flesh. So for a while, in order to keep the homunculus fed, like, okay, you turn all the cadavers into meat buns, but also there was a mass kidnapping. It was a mass kidnapping of death row inmates. So it was all criminals that were sentenced to die. They were sent to Kanai Ward to be executed. Their body would be kept in the fridge and eventually turned into meat bun, and they would be fed by the homunculus population of Kanai Ward. One of the particularities of those homunculus is that they bleed pink. The reason why there's pink blood in the game is because everybody there is an homunculus. And the reason why Makoto was keeping the mask is to keep us to reveal that actually number one realized that what was going on, and he needed to face his own homunculus. So he took the Book of Death and made a pact with him and told the Shinigami, okay, I need to go to Kanai Ward because basically the truth will be hidden from everybody inside Amaterasu, and I need to go there using another identity. So number one used the identity of a trainee detective, Yuma Cocohead. Yuma agreed to have his identity removed and be stripped away from the WDO. So number one pretended to be Yuma Cocohead all this time, while the real Yuma followed us and managed to get inside Kanai Ward and open a ramen shop. So the Yuma Cocohead that we know, the main protagonist, is actually number one. The other number one that we know is actually Stunt Double. The explosion at the WDO is it's a stage, it's a sham. Those were fake news. And basically, what happened at the end is that we've exposed the truth with the mystery labyrinth. But the Makoto, since he's the homunculus of number one, he can now also use number one's forte, which is coalescence. So he followed us into the mystery labyrinth. We fought him, and he left us with a choice, like stay in the mystery labyrinth so that Makoto can leave and protect the citizens of Kanai Ward, or destroy the mystery labyrinth, like solve the case and have everybody like if Makoto is destroyed, like the CEO will be defeated, there will be nobody to take care of the citizens, the truth will be exposed, and there's going to be a mass panic. So what happened is number one Yuma decided to stay behind so that Makoto could leave, but he entrusted him with a mission. Leave it, since Makoto has been shouldering this all along, like being the CEO of Amaterasu and also being homunculus of number one and having some contacts with WDO. His plan was to kill number one inside the mystery labyrinth so he can pretend to be number one and have control on both sides and blah blah blah. So number one's idea was to leave it to the public. So leak all the secret, expose the mystery, and have them decide what they want to do. And that's what he did, and they managed to... the citizens of Kanai Ward decided to elect Makoto as mayor, which they did. And Makoto took the job, so now Makoto is the warden of Kanai Ward. And he also opened the borders, like the Kanai Ward is no longer isolated. So they started to get some more products, you know, like suntan lotion, like body cream, so that they could actually, if they choose to, leave Kanai Ward, so they could have protection from the sun. But they explain everything, their condition, like the reason why they're staying in Kanai Ward, why nobody leaves. He's giving them basically. Makoto was the not the old CEO. Basically, the old CEO that we saw was a guy to whom Makoto made a deal with, and basically he took his place. I don't know who the old CEO was, but apparently he got his blood taken, and an homunculus version of him was taken as well, and he was killed during the blank week as well. I don't know if Makoto needs to feed on human flesh as well. We never see him eat, but since he's a perfect homunculus, I don't think he has a need to eat or sleep or drink or whatever, because he's immortal. But basically, when somebody died, when an homunculus died, all their cells regenerate. They don't age. They don't get any older. So basically, what happened at the end of the game? Yuma was still stuck inside the mystery labyrinth, and this is where Shinigami told them about the emergency exit. It was mentioned once before, but basically what happened is the emergency exit allows him to leave the mystery labyrinth, but it will also null the contract. So what would happen is, like, he would leave the labyrinth without any trouble. But he would lose all the memory of Shinigami. So basically, it will be the same as all of the guests that came in through coalescence. Like, once they come out of the labyrinth, they lose their memories. The same is gonna happen to him if he go through the emergency exit. So that's how he ended the contract with Shinigami. He remembers the book, but he forgot everything that ever happened with Shinigami. So what he did is, like, he left the book to Kurumi, and he wanted to explore the world. Like, there's going to be a need for detective around the world, so he go where he's needed. And Kurumi decided to look after Yuma, so she plans to travel the world with the book. So that's why the epilogue is her shopping, like a new raincoat, body cream, a month's supply of instant ramen, and a map of the world. And all the other detectives who we thought they were killed were actually imprisoned in Kainai Tower. And Makoto made us think that they were killed. Like, oh, they were homunculus themselves, they were bodied, and blah, 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 blah. So I don't think that these guys are homunculus. I've never seen them bled. If they bleed pink, we know they're homunculus. I thought that maybe they were, but they were replaced by Makoto when the submarine exploded. So we have no idea if the other world detectives are homunculus. Yako is, because he's a native of Kanai Ward, he partake into the blood test. So he was a resident there in Kanai Ward, so he's an homunculus. Plus he died, we saw his blood, he was pink. So that's pretty much what happened at the end of the game. It opened into some sort of, okay, I'm gonna look for you, but at the same time, the mystery of Kanai Ward has been solved. And if there's gonna be a second game, it's probably gonna be Kurumi making a pact with Shinigami. There's probably gonna be a World Detective as well, but it's up in the air. There's no way to know. There's actually no way to know. So Makoto is still taking care of the homunculus town. I want to call it homunculus town. Kanai Ward is basically homunculus town. And the ramen restaurant is booming since nobody is interested in eating the meat buns, because Makoto also told them that they were made of people, like Soren and Green. So they stopped eating the meat bun even though they craved it, so they have to find their food elsewhere. But for some reason, ramen works. But that raises the question, where do Yuma, the ramen stand shop owner, takes his ingredients? Because if he's using the same meat as in the meat buns, it doesn't help. You know? Whether he knows it about it or not, even in the broth, because you need pig broth, pork broth to make ramen.
I'm a regular detective. I just happen to have one foot on the other side.
I see. Still, you surprised me. You knew I was already dead.
Okay, now Rio is revealing her true form of a ghost. She's glowing like a ghost.
I told you in the beginning, and you smelled of death.
You did.
You're responsible for stopping this elevator. Using some spiritual power, or whatever.
Ah.
You haven't been guiding the suicidal to the roof of this building. You've been stopping the elevator in an attempt to make them reconsider.
You sure are a mean one. You knew all along.
Did you try to save them?
Yes. As I'm sure you know, I haven't been able to stop a single one.
They were really suicidal then, wow.
More than 10. And I've watched all of them go. That's why I think it's my fault. Because I chose this place for my own death, it's become rather famous for suicides. I was just tired of living. I wanted to go somewhere far away from this place.
But you regret it.
Yes. That's why I always stop the elevator whenever someone comes here. So I can speak to them. But I've never been able to convince them otherwise. All I've done is provide some time to think things over. Everyone who comes here has claimed none would be saddened by their deaths. I've never been able to get them to recant those words.
No one, wow.
That should be expected. After all, it is the truth. Everyone must overcome the death of others to keep on living. No one can remain in place and look back every time.
Is that so? We're almost to the roof. From here on, I can do nothing to stop this. Please listen. Even if you get to the roof, don't step out onto the floor.
Huh?
Why?
Because they will try to take you.
They?
As long as you don't listen to them, you'll be able to shake it off. That's because you're here to investigate what happened, not for your own death.
I don't know about that. The moment I got on the elevator, I think I made up my mind.
Oh, really?
No! You must be determined to survive! Otherwise they will take you!
Vivia is really gonna do it.
Life and death. I fail to see the border between the two anymore. They both overlap. I can no longer tell which one is the real me.
Vivia is really depressed, man.
Then please, think of the people you will leave behind.
Think of Chief Yako.
You must have some in your life. Are you really going to depart without saying farewell to them? There must be someone you'll regret not saying goodbye to.
If I had someone like that, I wouldn't be here. I have no one.
We need your help.
Back at the agency.
Isn't it cool to have a detective agency in a submarine?
Is that a memory?
If you ever have trouble here in Kanai Ward, just come on by. The other detectives and I will always have your back. In exchange, you better watch out for us, too.
What a pain.
If you ever need something, let me know.
I want peace and quiet.
Huh?
I want to be left alone.
There's no way I can do that. We're pals, aren't we?
Moves away. Goes into the fireplace.
Vivia, you've barely eaten a thing since you came here.
He eats like once a day because he's too the effort of feeding himself is too troublesome for him.
You're looking kind of emaciated.
I'm eating well enough.
Like like culturally and mentally food for thought because he's pointing a book.
That's not for eating. That's for reading.
Same thing.
How could they be the same thing? Do you hate the food in this town or something? The hotel restaurants offer lots of different choices. I'm sure you'll find something you can eat. All right, today's my treat. Let's go get dinner at a restaurant.
Why bother with all that trouble? I wish you'd leave me alone.
I can't do that. I may not look it, but I can be pretty persistent. You told me one thing, so now I have to do the opposite. That's just how I am. That's what made me the detective I am today.
Don't wish for death. At this rate, you'll be taken away. They're growing stronger. Each new one makes them more formidable. They will even take hold of the living. We've arrived.
Okay.
They're coming.
Who's they? The ghost of the deceased? There's some mist. A hand's coming out from the darkness. Many hands. Looks like shadows.
So death awaits me here.
He walks towards the ants. This reminds me of Digimon Survive.
They aren't moving.
Huh.
It's almost as though they haven't noticed you.
He's not alive enough. Astral projection. Yeah.
I thought so. We're only able to take away the living.
So yeah, when he took the elevator, it was with astral projection. He was never on the elevator to begin with. So he fooled the ghost. So when he entered, those hands, they won't touch him. That's what I would have done too.
Then you're also...
I'm the same as you all. I'm a ghost.
No way.
However, in my case, my body still lingers in this world.
What does that mean? Who are you?
I've already told you. I'm an ordinary detective. I just happen to have one foot on the other side.
Through astral projection.
I decided to come here in my ghost form to try talking to you. And thanks to that, I can't be dragged out of here.
So yeah, that's the only way you can talk to ghosts is with astral projection.
Really? I don't quite understand. But you sure are a mysterious person.
Yeah, the hands are backing off and the door closes.
I wouldn't mind walking away on my own, but I refuse to let someone take me away from here.
Yeah, I'm almost done here too. There's one more DLC and then I'm gonna turn off the stream. Well, thank you for stopping by, Tyler, and rest well, sleep well, and we'll see each other probably next Saturday. I have no idea what I'm gonna be playing next. It's probably gonna be a short game, probably Silent Hill short message or something like that. I know it won't be easy to finish.
That is not the peace I desire.
So you've reconsidered?
There is no need for you to be imprisoned here. I think your atonement has been fulfilled. Isn't it about time you sever your attachments here?
No. I want to remain behind. I need to ensure they don't take anyone else who comes here. Not everyone is as strong as you are.
I'm not strong at all. I've just grown used to death. Also, will the elevator move again? Or is it stuck on the roof?
Yeah, until someone pushes the button.
Oh.
Vivia! Are you there?
So yeah, Yako is on the other side, knocking on the elevator's door from the outside.
Chief Yako.
Is he already on the roof? Yeah, he opens the door.
He's not here? Damn it. I'm at the wrong place.
They're both ghost form. We can't see them.
I thought he'd come here to investigate.
So yeah, he's going inside the elevator and
I'm so exhausted.
so yeah, he's going down, pressing the first. He pressed the first floor button and closes the elevator door.
He took the stairs all the way to the roof to chase after the elevator.
Wow.
He must have been worried about you. I've watched over 10 people depart, but he's the first one I've seen come looking for the dead. You have a place you can return to. Perhaps that's the difference between us.
Honestly, I don't care for all the noise. I'm rather envious of your world.
However, if you have a place to return home to, you should.
Home, huh? I find myself hesitating. I don't know which path I should take.
Isn't it obvious?
Hey, Vivia! Where did you go?
Please, go back to him. I'm sure he's waiting for you to return.
So where has he hidden himself?
Vivia! I was looking all over for you.
In the alleyway. Okay, now he's back in his body.
You had such a solemn look on your face when you left, so I had a hunch.
Yeah, Yako's holding an umbrella.
What happened?
I got a bit lost.
Getting lost at your age? Then again, you didn't come to this city that long ago, so I guess that makes sense.
He's lending a hand. Vivia grabs it and he helps him getting up.
Anyway, I'm glad you're okay. Let's go back to my awesome agency office.
Gives him the umbrella, still open. Vivia reluctantly takes it. So yeah, Vivia's following Yako back to the office. Fade to black.
Death is always awaiting me.
Now the
upon
camera
my
is
path.
panning away from the alleyway where Vivia
Like
was.
trees neatly lining the roadside, casting dark shadows at my feet.
Pans upwards.
Even if I
On top of the
manage to
street,
overcome them, make it
Nimrod
to the end
buildings.
of that path.
Kamazaki Road.
When I turn around,
Now we see
Cool
Yako
truth
and Vivia
is
walking
waiting
in the
there.
street.
the shadows are a procession to my own funeral.
Camera pans
To live
more upwards
Means to
for the horizon.
continuously die.
Amaterasu Corp.
Every human is nothing but a walking corpse.
Yeah, everybody is
So,
The Walking Dead.
I too am dying in this moment.
Everybody is dying.
However, as long as I continue to travel this path, I may enjoy some peaceful scenery. Beyond the truth. Perhaps the peace I desire can be found there.
Near-Dead Detective, end. That was quite dark, but tasteful. I didn't mind. Vivia, Alex Lee, Yaku Kajitang, Rio, Erika Mendez. Alright, the final one. A voice calls out to Yako as he walks in the darkness. Sweet but somber, it reminds him of that day. Oh, this is the homunculi lab. This is where they come out of, the little pods. Then we see Yako.
Darling. Darling.
Yako's wife. Was he at the abandoned area? You cannot see his face because he's covered in the hood. Okay, now we're walking. Yeah, we're walking like a zombie. Whoa, sunlight!
Yes, I'm Yuma. Chief, you understand me?
Oh, that was a memory when Yuma saw him. No more sunlight. For some reason, when he gets hit by sunlight, he got a new memory instead of...
Oh, don't worry. I'm the ultimate master detective. I won't cause any trouble for you.
Another sunlight.
That depends on the payment.
Going down the stairs. Stumbling down. Blah, 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 blah. Boom.
Darling.
Another sunlight. This must be Fubuki.
Chief, please stay with us.
Yeah. And Vivia.
I got a bit lost.
And who's this one too? Probably his wife.
You haven't grown up at all.
Yeah, that's his wife. Alright, she's wearing some sort of street clothing, black, a white turtleneck, blue sunglasses, same as... Wait! Are you saying that Yako's blue sunglasses are actually hers? So there's some sort of warehouse. Yeah, that's her. Long black boots, beige pants.
I've been waiting for you, my darling.
He's still a zombie because he's crying pink blood. Pink tears. Thank you, my detective. "5 years ago."
I'm sorry, but I quit.
Colleague detective leaving a nocturnal agency. So right now he doesn't wear any glasses. He's wearing some sort of suit with a pink shirt. A weird olive green suit with no necktie, and we reveal, you know, the his chest tattoo of an eye.
Oh, wait. I promise I'll figure out some way to pay you by tomorrow.
He's got some. He's smoking a cigarette still.
Please wait just another 2 days. No, a week. Wait for another week, please.
Can't get paid.
It's not about the money. Take a look at this town. Everything's changed. Nobody wants detectives here.
But this is the Kanai ward before it went all rainy, so this is a bright Kanai ward. There's still the neons, but they feel off-putting and unnecessary in the bright sunlight. Why are they still shine?
That's not true. The place has grown so big, it's just harder to see those in trouble. There are many people in need of our help.
Where are they then? We haven't had a single customer for a month. If there's any trouble, just ask Amaterasu. They do everything, right?
Yeah, Amaterasu still there with the Peacekeeper. So this is where the old CEO was running.
Why bother hiring a detective?
Yomi and the Peacekeeper and all that jazz.
But this is our town. If we don't protect it, who will?
Hardtown? How long will you keep dreaming? This place belongs to Amaterasu now.
But we promised we'd protect this town together!
But protected from what? Let the Peacekeepers handle it. I hear that Amaterasu pays them pretty well.
Wow.
I'm hoping they'll interview me there soon.
Oh, he wants to go work for them?
I feel bad saying this, but you should quit being a detective and find a proper job.
What, you think this gig isn't proper?
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I think you're out of your mind. Listen, you leave me alone from here on out. I don't want you dragging me down when I try to join the Peacekeepers.
Hey! I'm all alone now.
Hey there, Chief.
They're vulgar men. They look like Yakuza. That guy's wearing a red suit with a black shirt. The other's wearing a white suit with a blue shirt. All opened up with golden jewels and accessories. They must be loan sharks.
When are you gonna pay your rent?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm gathering the money for that right now.
You said that last week!
Punch him in the face.
And if you can't get me the money by today, I'll sell this place off to Amaterasu like I first planned.
Yeah, this is the building who's about to be abandoned.
They'll pay a lot better than renting it out to you.
Wow.
I understand. I'll do something about it today. Actually, could you wait until the end of the month?
No.
Not a chance!
Give him enough time. Punch him one last time, and he fell on the ground. Now he's at by the riverbank, smoking a cigarette.
Jeez.
Are you with the Nocturnal Detective Agency?
So there's a suspicious man. He's in his 50s. He's got salt and pepper hair with oval glasses, wearing a prim and proper suit with a trench coat.
Yes?
I'm looking for this person.
This is the person who's about to become his wife.
I'll put a down payment of 100,000. If you find the target and bring her to me, it'll be 1 million.
Oh, a down payment of 100 Tau.
A million? I'll do it. Please give me this job.
The woman currently works at a lab for Amaterasu Corporation.
Amaterasu again? That's annoying.
Is there a problem? If so, I can find someone else.
No, there's no problem.
There's nobody else anyway.
Screw Amaterasu, am I right?
Meh.
Wonderful. Contact me once you find that woman.
Understood. Just for my reference, what do you do with the gal once I find her?
You'd be better off not getting too nosy.
They're gonna kill her. Because she's a whistleblower. She was about to snitch on Dr. Wesker.
$1 million covers 6 months worth of rent. Luck is back on my side. I better start on the job right away.
Now it's raining. But it's not the same vibe. It's not the same cloud. It's a regular rain. Yako's reading the journal. He's spying on the girl.
That's the woman.
Yeah, they're at the Genai Cafe. The Golden Pat. He's about to pick up the phone. Scratches his head, considering it. He's gonna sit down with her.
Excuse me.
Hello.
What nice weather we're having.
Oh my god, is that your pickup line?
It's raining?
Oh, I like the rain?
Yeah, he's garbage. I only happen when it rains. That awkward silence. She's smiling.
Fine. Here's the truth. I'm a detective. Someone hired me to search for you.
Got it. I think I know why. I probably know your client, too. So, are you going to contact him? I'll go right now if you want.
Wait! Damn it. What am I doing? I should have just called the client right away. Who is my client? He didn't seem like the usual sort.
He never introduced himself.
I work as a detective because I want to protect the city. I can't work for him if he's a criminal or something. Even if he's my client. Are you laughing? Hey, I'm dead serious about my job.
Sorry, I was just contemplating how your head must be full of rust.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Should you?
It wasn't one. Well, I suppose an antique has its own charms.
Antique?
Your client is from our lab's rival organization. He's probably a headhunter.
Oh.
It's not uncommon. I get offers like this all the time. Some try more forceful methods, such as hiring a detective.
Oh, because you're a researcher at Amaterasu.
That's right. To be honest, it's not that great of a place. My boss is an ass, and my colleagues are all depressed.
Of course.
When their own research doesn't go well, they yell and throw mugs at me.
Nah.
Just the other day.
Blah, blah, blah.
Anyway, if my research is successful, it'll open a whole new field in regenerative medicine.
Oh my god! That's the lie they told their employees. Regenerative medicines. No, they're working on Project Homunculus.
It's still ongoing, but so far, it can repair nerve cells by simply ingesting medication.
Wow.
Do you understand how incredible that is? Do you see?
Well, I mean, yeah, you eat medicines and it can regen nerve cells. Usually, nerve cells are so fragile, they cannot be replicated since they don't reproduce through mitosis. If you lose nerve cells, they're gone for good. But if eating the medicine fixes them completely, like restore them like they were new, you can solve a lot of neural diseases.
Yeah, I don't know about all this. Are you really supposed to tell me what you're researching? Shouldn't that stuff be kept secret? I'd really love to avoid getting dragged into a weird mess.
Oh, no. Well, whatever. Just make sure you don't tell anyone else. You should be good at that if you're a detective, right?
Of course.
Well, then, will you also keep quiet about where I am?
Yes, of course. Oh, wait, hold on. You're asking me to lie to my client? That's entirely different.
How so? You could just say you never found me.
This is my job. It'd be one thing if he was a criminal or something, but a headhunter, there's no reason for me to keep quiet. My livelihood is on the line. A million is on the line.
And I say I don't like it. Can't you respect my wishes? I live in this town. You said you wanted to protect us, so why don't you start with protecting me?
Well, hold on.
Fair point.
I work for Amaterasu because I'm from this town. I wanted to stay here, so I chose to work for them. I don't want to go anywhere else. If you're from around here, then you should feel the same way.
You were born here as well?
Will you really sell me out for some cash? Or will you protect your fellow citizen, born in the same town?
Here's the thing. She got killed before the Homunculus project. Wait. Why would she be at the abandoned lab then?
Which part is your real work, Mr. Detective?
Was she ever killed?
I knew I shouldn't have spoken with her. After hearing all that, is there any possible way I could sell her out? Is that something a detective would do? All right, I'll leave you be. But you said you're not happy at your current workplace, yeah? In that case, I think you should really consider his offer.
No matter what comes my way, I have no plans to change my mind. I love this town.
Yeah.
Stands up.
I also love this place. That's why I work as a detective.
He walks away.
Damn it! My million!
Oh, the guy is here. Shit. He's gonna go. Yeah, he's meeting the researcher. Yeah. Gun to her face. Yakko jumps the guy. Yeah, she's leaving.
That's not the sort of headhunting I'd imagined.
You bastard!
I won't let you have your way in this town. I'm the only detective Kanai Ward's got. You got that?
One beating later.
This is the last chance I'll have to enjoy the scenery. Ow.
Oh, she came back.
I heard your detective agency was here. Are you okay? You're hurt.
Well, what do you think?
Do I look okay to you?
Took a beating for you, girl.
I'm hurting all over thanks to you. I lost my pay, and now I'm being forced to cover the damages to that cafe. All my friends are gone. I have nothing left.
Well, I'm sorry.
Why are you here? The client's long gone. I have no business with you.
Why do you insist on being a detective? Even if you're doing it for the city's sake. Aren't you getting tired of it?
When I was a kid, I'd gather with all the neighborhood kids and play detective. I loved it. I made matching badges for my friends and we went around patrolling. I was so proud to wear it on my chest. I let it get to my head. I said, our group of detectives will protect this town. It's been decades. But I still can't bring myself to lie to my childhood friends. Conai Ward is going through some major changes. All the more reason why we need detectives here. So, I've decided to continue being the only one.
You haven't grown up at all.
No way! She produces a badge that looks like made by a kid. It says Nocturnal Detective of Agency. It's like a medal like made with paint. There's a star, and then like there's a white, red, and blue painted on that golden star.
Thanks for protecting me earlier. You know, more people may be coming after me, so I'd like to make you an offer, Mr. Detective. How would you like to work as my bodyguard?
She smiles at him. Is that one of her childhood friend? Oh. She kept hers. Now she's here. And Yako is a zombie.
I knew this day would come. Thank goodness for my research.
Is she really here? Because now Yako is looking at the badge that he made for his friend.
This medicine can regenerate nerve cells. It's still in development, but I suppose I can leave a sample behind. It might be completed if someone takes over my research. It may even regenerate zombified brain cells.
So did she hid the medicine inside the badge? Yes! There is a pill. She hugs him.
You. Protecting me. Thanks, my sweet detective. You've done well. If the medication doesn't help, maybe you'd feel better if you saw me again? Hmm?
He cries a real tear. Clenches on the badge. Was she here or was it a ghost? Now we see a picture of Yako with the woman in the abandoned building, looking at the abandoned city. Thank you, my detective. End. So there were no gameplay in this part, but basically it just says an ending on what happened to him. So basically, okay, Yako, amateur researcher Morgan Lore, suspicious man Kurt Bicknell. So what I'm to understand is either the girl is not real or she was real and she just hid. Like she just disappeared. She never died. She hid herself in the remains of the old lab, avoiding the zombies and managing to perfect the medicine that would restore the zombie brain cells. So what we saw was probably Yako after the story, or a memory of Yako before shit hit the fan. So this could go either way, depending on how you interpret that memory. because there were no clue that this happened after. You know?